Guys, Jack Brugus here again. Just going to give you a quick rundown on Michael Collins. I have mentioned him a couple of times. I'm just going to go over some of the most important things about him, but a lot of the stuff I'm covering is spread across other videos, so find out more about that there. Also, like I said in the Eamon de Valera video, implore you to do more research on him, past what I'm going to say here, because he is just so unbelievably important during the Civil War period. It's unbelievable. So Collins was he was a leader. Like he was one. It was a weird one of those things where someone who wasn't technically the leader, but he's pulling the strings for most of the time. He did end up getting chairman of the provisional government in the 16th of January 1922 to his eventual death on the 22nd of August 1922. He was succeeded by W.T. Cosgrave. He was the Minister of Finance of the now free Ireland from the 2nd of April 1919 to the 22nd of August 1922. He's also succeeded by W.T. Cosgrave there, but he was preceded by Eowyn McNeill. He was the Minister of Home Affairs from the 22nd of January 1919 to the 1st of April 1919. Arthur Griffith succeeded him on that one, by the way. He was the Tecta Dala from May 1921 to August 1922. He's the president of the Irish Republican Brotherhood. This is a big one. November 1920 to the 22nd of August 1922. So he was the president of the Irish Republican Brotherhood. For most of his time, he did not have actual like a big position really. He was the big one that he had for a while was Minister of like Intelligence or something, but he's still under the Minister of Defense. But the fact that he was the president of the Irish Republican Brotherhood pretty much gave him the most say out of everyone, because that's where the Irish Republic stemmed from. So I'm just going to go really quickly on this because, like I said on the Eamon de Valera video, this is a huge topic that if I went into full context of it would take like 2.5 hours. But he was a huge part in the Easter Rising. He became like, that was right around when he was just like pointed out for his intelligence and intelligence really. He mm, excuse me. He was one of the many men who was a leader in the Easter Uprising that then ended up getting arrested and taken into British custody. Um, Along with that, he got really in deep with the IRA because of this. Like because of his Irish Republican Brotherhood stuff and the fact that he was like a living martyr because of the Easter Rising stuff. This was kind of solidified him as one of the most important people in the Irish Republican. Um, he was a member of the First Dáil too. He had he had a lot of hands in that pie there. He knew a lot of the people in there. He was a member of Sinn Féin, which is like a lot of other people there. Yeah, but no, he knew a lot of like the big names like Eamon de Valera, Cathal Brugha, Kevin O'Higgins, Eowyn McNeill, W.T. Cosgrave. He was in thick with a lot of those. But I'm just gonna skip a couple things here. He had a part in the War of Independence against the British. He was a military leader during that time. My main thing I want to skip to here is because this, the war was really important, but the English-Irish Treaty was probably the most important thing he ever did, because he practically wrote it. I mean, it was his thing. So a lot of people, the thing that ended up having Ireland split in two was the Anglo-Irish Treaty. There's pro and anti-treaty, and Collins was the leader of the pro-treaty people. He was the antithesis of Eamon de Valera, as de Valera was anti-treaty, Collins was pro-treaty, and because of this ended up leading to the signing of the Anglo-Irish Treaty, which led to the Irish Free State being lost to the entirety of Ireland, and it becoming what it is today, where there's the country of Ireland, and then there's the property of Ireland that's owned by the United Kingdom. Um, and then after this happened, this would eventually lead to the Irish Civil War, which he had a big part in, because during the early bits of the Irish Civil War, when the Four Courts um, occupation happened, he was the one who ordered the shelling of the Four Courts building with British artillery. So what the Four Courts building was a turning point, as before that point it was just like, yeah, there's this split of people who liked the treaty and didn't like the treaty, but there wasn't any fighting. But the anti-treaty forces occupy the Four Courts building, and Collins takes direct military action on them and kills several of them in that time. And during the fighting, very close to the fighting, or actually during the fighting, I believe, Collins was killed. A bullet hit him, and he just went down. They got him. They slayed him shortly after the Four Courts building in an ambush, and he became a martyr for the pro-treaty side. And in my opinion, Collins' death might have been one of the single most important parts of the Irish Civil War, as he laid the bricks that led to the Civil War with the shelling and stuff, but the just sheer hatred between the two sides was caused by Collins' death, because he was just such an important figure for the pro-treaty forces that he became a martyr after his death. And this gave the anti-treaty forces just got friggin' walloped after that point, because the pro-treaty forces had the vigor of having their leader killed, and they also had the entirety of the British military on their side too, because the anti-treaty forces were trying to upheave the entire government and try to take all of Ireland back. And I mean, that ended up leading to most of the anti-treaty men getting killed or arrested. You know how horribly brutal the Civil War was, and in my personal opinion, Michael Collins' death might have been one of, if not the most important factor that led to the brutality, just because there's so much rage on the pro-treaty side because of his death. Really, I do implore you, look into Michael Collins more. He's one of the two most important people, in my opinion, during the Irish Civil War period. He had his hands in almost every single pie. He is the man who started the Irish Civil War. He got the Anglo-Irish Treaty signed. He was one of the leaders in Sinn Féin. He was the leader of the provisional government. He was the leader of the Irish Republican Brotherhood. He had so much stuff. And really, I implore you, look into him more. But just remember, the most important things that he did was that he created the Anglo-Irish Treaty, and he started the shelling that started the Irish Civil War at the Four Courts building. Thank you for listening, and I hope you have a good day.